Where can you see the house? I mean, we've been driving forever.
No.
Where is the house?
We've been driving about 10 minutes.
Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about 5 facts that you have to know about Laguna Niguel, California. And if you don't like these, you really, really, really should avoid living here.
So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Dezahd.
And I'm Dezahd.
And we're with Keller Williams Realty right here in Orange County, California. And if this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, living, and playing in Orange County, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and don't forget to click on the little bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. Now, we get so many calls from people either looking to buy or sell a home in Orange County, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving to, moving from, or moving within Orange County, either give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. So in case you didn't get what we were talking about, so Laguna Niguel, it's kind of a weird little city. It's kind of long, and if you live on the part that's closest to the beach, so closer to Dana Point,
yes,
it can seem like you're driving forever, literally forever, to get home off the freeway.
Figuratively, forever.
That's true, figuratively.
Can't beat it? I'll give you the keys to the store. Literally. So come on down to speak.
So if if your idea of a dream home is one you can just whip off the freeway and, you're home, the coastal area of Laguna Niguel is not for you. And even, the part of Laguna Niguel that's closer to the lake, which is definitely not the coastal area, it's still a good, 10 minutes off the freeway. And it can get tiresome if you are coming home from a long day at work and you just want to be home. So
yeah, so that's one of those things where it's not terrible, but at the same time, and given how things are now with a lot of remote work and that kind of stuff, I would say that Laguna Niguel has benefited tremendously from this whole remote work situation where people they can just work at home. But yeah, before it used to be one of those things where your nearest job center was, let's say, the Irvine Spectrum or Newport Beach, and that would be a bit of a drive, especially if you're not taking the toll road, which Southern Californians tend to not like to do. And so basically, it's a bit of a drive, and especially if you live like a lot closer to the coastal part of, and Laguna Niguel doesn't touch the coast, as you're approaching the coast, it is a ways off the freeway for sure. Yeah,
and since you mentioned it is, so another, fact that you need to know is that Laguna Niguel isn't really near the major job centers in Orange County. It's kind of far away from...
This is point number 2, right?
Yeah, this is point number 2. So it's kind of far away from the Spectrum, from Newport, from, Irvine. So that's... And if you do have to drive into work and you hate driving...
if you hate driving, it's not a terrible commute, but at the same time, depending on where you are in Laguna Niguel, it can be a bit of a drive because, again, if you live closer to the coast, it's just, it's a good 20 minutes-ish, 25 minutes maybe from the freeway, which, again, that's not a short drive. And then you have to get, and once you're on the freeway, then you have that drive to either Irvine Spectrum or Newport. Yeah,
because Sean, last year, he had a listing kind of on the border between Dana Point and Laguna Niguel, and he would have to drive, all the way. And I went, to the house a couple of times, and I would call him, and I'd say, how long is this road? But I guess if you like Audible, I feel like
Yeah, get your podcast going. Spotify.
Yeah. So number 3 is that Laguna Niguel has a lot of HOAs, so homeowners associations. So there are pros and cons to homeowners associations, so explain the cons. Why would someone not want to have a HOA?
Yeah, so the cons are that you have this governing body basically beyond just what the city says, right? That kind of gives oversight over your property. Like, what you can paint it potentially, what you can do to expand, like maybe make it bigger or whatever. Add a story to it. Yeah. So these are things that, you have to get approval. Like, in fact, it's kind of funny. It reminds me of when we were in Irvine, and we had a place in Irvine where we just wanted to put like a cable TV, right? And then so basically we needed to get approval from the HOA to drill a hole into a house to put a cable into that side. And so it was just kind of like, wow, that's pretty hardcore. And again, that's where you have these situations where some homeowners, I mean, some potential buyers will reach out to us and going, hey, I don't want, I'm buying a house. I don't want someone with this oversight over me. I don't want someone breathing down my neck. HOAs, you can expose yourself to that situation. And unfortunately, not all of Laguna Niguel is that way. And again, really, it's not all that bad either, but let's say, but it's not all that way. So if it's important for you not to have an HOA, you got to reach out to us so we can point you to those properties that don't have that.
Okay, so number 4 on this list is that Laguna Niguel, I mean, we were actually struggling to get all of these cons because Laguna Niguel is actually a very, very nice city. So, and with that, it is very expensive.
How big does this pile have to be?
Yes.
So, explain, how expensive is Laguna Niguel?
It's a good amount. It's not quite as expensive as coastal Orange County, like in the coastal cities. But it's definitely above the average in Orange County, for sure. And that's because Laguna Niguel does have so many attributes. It is a beautiful city.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. I mean, for example, my aunt lives in Santa Rosa, California, which is very beautiful. Northern California, I would definitely...
And she does well for herself.
She does. I would definitely say Northern California is prettier than Southern California, except for the coast. But, inland... Because it's just so much, there's so many more trees there, so green, and she just loves that. And she says that she hates Southern California because it's too hot for her and it's not green enough. But she said if there was anywhere that she would ever live in Southern California, it would be Laguna Niguel because it's so pretty. And yeah, so I mean, and when you have a city that's like that,
the
prices are going to
weather's
go up.
Yeah, the weather's good. According to niche.com, the schools are very good. It's part of the Capistrano Unified School District, so good schools, a great school district, I should say, as well. And then it's just got so many attributes that are so nice. And again, with that comes demand, right? Tons of demand. And Laguna Niguel, and again, the one con that was really there before, I would say, was that was kind of out of the way. But because of the whole remote work thing, people are just in droves trying to get into Laguna Niguel, and that's bumping up the price.
Yeah, for sure. So number 5 on this list, and this is the same with a lot of South County, is that because you have these big tracts of homes, they can...
Huge tracts.
Yeah, they can feel very cookie cutter.
Yeah, and again, that's just part of the era of which they were built. You have all these properties were built, I would say, a lot of it was built in the 90s, really. I mean, like either late 80s, early 90s, in that vicinity. And with Laguna Niguel, with the builders, they weren't doing all this amazing...
Yeah, they weren't paying their architects much. Let's just put it that way.
they're trying to cut costs, so they have a lot of the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
They have they made 4 different floor plans or whatever, and so you see that where a lot of these houses, they can kind of look like they bleed into each other, and to an extent, and that's where if you want true variation, you tend to find that more in northern Orange County because it's older. I mean, so when it's older, either maybe properties got torn down at some point, or they got remodeled and they added a story.
It was more just piece by piece. If you get into the older cities like Fullerton, these are some cities that, original Orange County, so they have houses being built little by little as opposed to giant tracts.
Or downtown St. Ana, where you have a listing that was built in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
That house was crazy. Again, in northern Orange County, they almost have the foundation was very similar. However, over time they got redeveloped or whatever, and so these neighborhoods, you see a lot more variation. Whereas Laguna Niguel's not so new that the builders really did a nice job. Like let's say Ladera Ranch, they do a really good job with making that variation, but it's not so old that these houses are ready to be torn down because they're still pretty, they still have a lot of life still left in them.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're looking for a place that looks very eclectic, very charming, probably Laguna Niguel is not for you.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's our video.
Now, if you find that really cool property online that you want to see or want to check out, you got to reach out to us. So either give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.